Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's SuperBPro, and today I'm going to be making a beginner's guide to Dark Souls 3. I want this to be relatively quick at around 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm going to talk about everything, including things like I'll teach you guys how to learn the controls, because when I was, when I first started this game, I've never played anything like it, and it was really weird to get used to the controls, for me at least. I'm going to talk to you guys quickly about Titanite, damage scaling for weapons. I'm going to help you guys beat the first boss, give you a couple items that will help you out throughout the game, and the basics of multiplayer. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First thing you'll see here, obviously, is the character creator. You can change your name, your gender, age, class, burial gift, and then you can kind of go in depth as to how your character looks. All of this really doesn't change your character and like how how strong it is, but the class is important and the burial gift is kind of important, I guess. All of these items are kind of single-use things besides the life ring. This is the only thing that you can actually use at all times, and it constantly raises your health, so might as well pick it. It's really important that you either pick warrior or knight as a beginner, because these are the easiest characters to use in a lot of other people's opinions. Now, the knight has the best armor and best shield out of everything, and arguably the best weapon. You can use this whole, setup for basically the whole entire game without changing anything. That's how good this stuff is. And but the shield is the most important part, in my opinion, to this whole setup, because you can block most of the attacks in the beginning of the game and not take any damage from it. So let's go ahead and create our character. But one last thing, I mean, the warrior and the mercenary, they're both good. They have decent armor, decent weapons, but like I said, the shield and the weapon of the knight is like unparalleled, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and create the character, and I will see you guys back when the game actually starts. Alright, so we're actually in the game now, and as you can see, these things on the ground, these are game tips, basically. These at the beginning will just show you the basic controls. So go around, read all these, and basically take this time where at the beginning of the game you have nothing to lose. Just learn the controls. Just attack, learn the attack patterns, learn the move sets. You can click triangle here, and you can actually go into a two-handed mode. As you can see, you can still block, and but it won't do nearly as much damage, or damage reduction rather, than this shield. This shield is awesome, and it's really cool that they actually have a 100% physical absorption shield at the beginning of the game. You can go and check the stats out by going to your inventory, and you can see on the right side 100% physical guard absorption. So as long as an enemy doesn't have any type of elemental damage on the weapon, you won't take any damage. The stability at the bottom of the guard absorption list basically shows how much stamina that you will lose by getting hit. So as you can see, a normal attack doesn't really make you lose too much, but bigger enemies will take down your stamina faster, and when your stamina reaches 0 while you're guarding, you will get staggered, and you will take extra damage on that hit that you're staggered. So it's pretty important to not get staggered. I kind of messed up on that guy, but if you actually sneak up behind people and land backstabs, it will actually hurt them a lot more. Now, the sign back there actually talks about parrying, and you basically click L2 to do this little animation. I just got hit with an arrow. But if you actually land the parry and successfully deflect his attack, you can basically get essentially a backstab. The same kind of thing. It'll do a lot of damage, but it's hard to figure out when you're new to the game. It took me a long time to figure out how to parry properly, so I wouldn't even worry about it because you have such a good shield. I would just block and wait for an opening to attack. Now, this is a bonfire. You're going to find a lot of these throughout the game, and these basically serve as checkpoints. Now, I just want to go over the basics of this game. I'm not going to go, completely in depth and show you step by step on how to beat the game. I want this to be your own experience. This game deserves, to... You gotta make this game your own. I'm just gonna give you guys some tips on how to make it better for you. Now, as you saw, I did do a plunging attack. I guess there's two of these guys down here. There usually isn't. There's a backstab for you. And as you can see on that one enemy, I actually dodged and did an R1, which did a little poke. That's the dodge attack for this weapon. You can also do a running attack, like you can see here. It doesn't do as much damage, but it's a relatively quick attack that you can, get off in a relatively quick amount of time. Now, I know for a fact I'm gonna mess up this parry here, so I'm just gonna cut to when I actually land the parry. Alright, so right there I landed the parry, and as you can see, it kind of staggers him for a sec, and in that when that sound effect plays, bada bing, you can actually attack and do a lot of damage. So let's see if maybe I can nail another one. I'll skip to when I land another one. So right here, bada bing, bada bing 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 bing. You do a lot of damage right there. And so I mean, if you can learn how to parry, then it is worth it. I'm gonna go ahead and rest of this bonfire. It gives you back all your health and all your flasks, but in return it does reset all the enemies. But like I said, since you're at the beginning of the area, you really don't have too much to lose. I would just take your time, rest a couple times after you go wipe out all these enemies, get used to how the game, plays. It's really worth it. Now I'm going to go ahead, we're going to jump into the first boss, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to beat him. So, we're going to go ahead, pull out the sword. Now, a lot of the bosses in this game actually have some time where you can hit them before they even start, before they're even ready to attack. So I was just able to unload on him right there, did a nice little chunk of damage. Now, it doesn't do normal damage, but... So some quick tips on bosses in general is they all have specific movesets, and a lot of them are accompanied by sound effects. Now right here I actually just staggered him, and a lot of bosses, if you actually hit them fast enough, you'll basically stagger. And when they do that, you'll hear like a little, kind of like a thud sound effect, which you guys heard when he was staggered, and that means that you're doing a lot more damage. Right here you can see just doing a lot of damage, and yeah. So I actually wish I didn't kill him that fast, but all of the bosses have their own movesets, like I said, and you gotta really take your time. You're gonna die a lot in this game. I've played at least 300, now probably about 400 hours of this game, on my way to 5. And all the bosses have their own, they act a certain way. They have certain movesets, so get used to them, get used to dodging them. Dodging is an absolute vital part of this game. You're going to be doing a lot of it. So get used to dodging their attacks, and learn when you can attack, and take advantage of that. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and explore this area up here. This is called Firelink Shrine. This is going to be essentially your home. You're going to be here a lot. I actually went ahead and killed myself, I think over here, just to show you guys something. If you ever die in this game, which you will a lot, you'll lose your souls, and essentially, when you lose your souls, you should be over here somewhere. When you lose your souls, you will find these little green areas right here, or these little green balls. You're going to want to pick them up, and that's how you retrieve your souls. Now, if I died twice in a row, I wouldn't be able to get those souls back. So it's really important, you try to get those souls back. Alright, so let's go ahead and head into Firelink Shrine. I'm going to go over a couple little things, and then show you guys one more important thing that I would recommend that you guys do. So, you're going to be here a lot, and you can do just about anything you need to in this area. This is the Firekeeper. You can talk to her to level up. This is the Shrine Maid, and you can purchase items and also sell items that you don't need. So as you can see, you can buy a lot of stuff. This is a white sign soapstone. You can use it to actually be summoned to other people's worlds to help them out, and you can actually do that. And if you actually help the player beat the boss of the area, you'll be able to get souls. It's a pretty cool experience. I wouldn't recommend getting this for your first time playing. If you use it, you actually get invaded more often, and I'll explain invading in multiplayer here once we get to the next area. This is Andre the Blacksmith. He will basically reinforce your weapons, which make them do more damage. One thing that I would recommend you do right here is allot Estus and transfer the one Ashen Estus flask you have to normal Estus. With this kind of character, just a sword and board, just sword and shield character, you really don't want, having the Ashen Estus flask isn't going to help you too much. Now, one quick thing, I would recommend that you guys talk to NPCs every time that you visit Firelink Shrine, because 9 times out of 10 they will have new stuff that they'll say to you, and they'll have items. Like that guy just gave me, I believe that's the collapse gesture. Yeah, so talking to NPCs and looking around, sometimes you'll find new NPCs in different areas. It's really important to talk to them. You kind of get more backstory, more plot to the game, that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to talk about leveling up real quick. There's really only 3 main stats you need to worry about leveling up, which is Vigor, Strength, and Dexterity. For the first part anyway. Once you get some levels into Strength and Dexterity and Vigor, you can start leveling up things like Endurance and Vitality when needed. Vigor gives you more health. Endurance gives you more stamina. Strength and Dexterity upgrade the attack power that you can do. Vitality lets you carry more stuff and also increases your raw physical defense. So it basically gives you armor without wearing armor. And Endurance gives you more stamina. So, like I said, Strength and Dexterity and Vigor, that's what you need to focus on first. So the first, I would say 5 to 7 levels, I would just put purely into Vigor. So we're going to go ahead and drop the Coiled Sword in here into the bonfire. And there you go. So here, as you can see, I have a storage box. You can drop anything that you don't really need at the time in here. Just keep them safe, or whatever. Burn on dead bone shards. Whenever you pick these things up, I would come back here to burn them, because when you do, it will essentially let you restore more health with Estus flasks. Now, another thing you can do with Andre over there, you can find Estus flasks, or Estus shard flasks, and it'll essentially give you more uses for your Estus flask. We're going to go ahead and go to the next area though. Alright, so now we're at the high wall of Lothric. We're going to go ahead and go down these stairs. We're going to be met with another bonfire. So, the last thing I want to talk about in this guide is the multiplayer side of things in this game, because it actually is kind of overlooked in some people's minds. It's actually really important and a really cool thing. So I actually died to show you guys the what happens when you die and how to get your souls back and whatnot. But so whenever you beat a boss, you get Ember. You get Ember stored on your screen, and that will basically give you more health and enable the multiplayer side of this game. So you can also use these things called Embers to manually restore your Ember, to manually be able to be on the multiplayer side of things. So luckily, right here, as you can see, whenever I embered up, I can see these white signs. Now these are the white sign soapstones that you could find down at the shrine from the Shrine Handmaid. So when I'm embered, you can actually go and summon these guys. You can also get invaded by enemy phantoms. So getting invaded by enemy phantoms basically means that a player has come to your world to try to kill you. If they kill you, they get an item that they need to raise their level in their covenant, which is a whole nother thing that I'm not going to get into in this video. It's not really too big of a deal. Basically, when you get a covenant, which you will find covenants, you can essentially go and try to kill people, and when they come back, or if you kill someone, you get an item, and when you get a certain amount of items for killing people, you get like weapons and stuff. But this summon sign right here is a purple summon sign. This is not necessarily a friendly or enemy. Usually they'll be enemy. They can kill enemies and help you somewhat, but they can also kill you. So they're kind of the wild card. When you see red summon signs, that means people want to fight, and usually it'll be like a friendly kind of thing. You won't be able to heal in that. So if you see a red phantom sign anywhere, which oddly enough there aren't any here, but if you do find any, those are signs placed down, which basically indicates someone wants to duel, which is like a friendly fight. Generally, people won't heal with Estus, though it's just a friendly fight to the death, just to see who's better. Now, when you do get invaded, you won't be allowed to rest at bonfires. You can light new bonfires that you find, but you won't be able to rest. You won't be able to exit your game. Also, you'll have to like manually unplug your console or something like that until the enemy phantom either goes away or something like that, or they die or you die. Now, one way to actually kind of manually kick a invader is to go into a boss arena. If you start the fight with a boss, it'll kick the enemy phantom. So if you need like an escape route, just find your nearest boss arena that you haven't beat yet, and that'll be how you can get rid of a phantom easily. Alright, well guys, I've been waiting to get invaded because invasions happen basically randomly. So I was just trying to wait. I've waited about 20 minutes and I haven't got invaded at all, so I'm going to go ahead and end it on that note. I've basically talked about everything I wanted to. It may have ran a little longer than what I wanted it to, but whatever. Hopefully this helped you guys out. If it did, leave a comment. And also, if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about or help you guys out with in Dark Souls 3 besides this, let me know, because I've played almost 500 hours of Dark Souls 3, and I love this game. So anything that you guys need help with, I'll definitely make a video on. But with that being said, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.